Welcome back to the Nerdy Grill, and with the release of Pokémon Legends Z-A arriving officially tomorrow on October 16th, I thought it was time to have a little look at some of the main features of the game. Since we're returning to the Kalos region, Mega Evolution is going to be a core part of the game, and we know that through trailers and through leaks and all sorts. We are being given a plethora of new Mega Evolutions, some good and warranted, and some weird, peculiar, and why. And in today's video, I am going to be ranking all 26 new Mega Evolutions that we have been shown through either the official trailers or through early gameplay, because a couple of people have managed to get their hands on the game early, or through the leaks that we've seen over the last few days and weeks. So take all of this with a pinch of salt, but I'm fairly certain that by now all of these have been more or less confirmed, and the designs that I'm going to be showing off I think are more or less the final designs. But if there's a couple of slight changes, then just let me know in the comments below. So I'm literally ranking these 26 based on the leaks that I've seen and the official images that I've seen come through from either early gameplay or from the trailers that we've been actually given by Nintendo and stuff like that. But without any further ado, let's jump straight into this tier list where I'm going to be ranking all 26 of the brand new Mega Evolutions. Okay then, so here we are on my ranking all 26 of the brand new Mega Evolutions that have been revealed to us in some way, shape or form for the brand new Pokémon Legends Z-A game that drops tomorrow. So I've got 4 different categories. So we've got great. So these are the Mega Evolutions that I think either the Pokemon deserves to have that Mega Evolution, or the design is actually really cool, because they're the two things that I'm mostly basing this on, whether it was warranted for the Pokemon to get a Mega, and also whether the design is actually a good design. Then we've got good, so these are the ones where, yeah, the Mega Evolution is good, it was kind of warranted, and it looks alright. Meh means that this Mega's okay, but I'm unsure whether it was really needed to have a Mega or not. And then bad are for the ones that the design is terrible or really strange, doesn't match, or is odd in some way, shape or form. And also, I'm not really sure whether the Pokemon needed the Mega Evolution or not. But yeah, we've got all 26 here, so we're going to go through these. It's going to be really interesting because I've seen the images, I've seen the leaks, I've seen obviously all the official trailers. So let's start off then with Mega Victreebel. Now, did Mega Victreebel need a Mega? Did Victreebel need a Mega? I'm a bit unsure. I don't hate the design of Mega Victreebel. It's just quite big, and it's funny how all the little vines around it has like tightened around its mouth, causing it to shut. The trailer they revealed for it was quite interesting. For me, it's kind of meh. I don't hate it. It's definitely not bad. I've never been huge on Victreebel as a Pokemon anyway, but I would say, yeah, I'm unsure. But I'll be interested to see what happens playing through the game and how good it actually is. Mega Hawlucha. Now, I love Hawlucha as a Pokemon, and I think it's quite a nice design. So I actually think this is quite a good one. And it's a Pokemon that's definitely warranted. It's one of those Pokemon that don't evolve, but I think needed a slight little boost to it. And I think it's not a dramatic change, but it's a change enough. So I quite like Mega Hawlucha. You know, and it was one of the first that was sort of revealed to us. So I'm quite interested to see. I might even use Mega Hawlucha on my team. I'm unsure. Then we got Mega Malamar. If I'm being honest, and this is definitely a personal one for me, I'm actually putting Malamar in bad because, and you know, everyone's entitled to their opinion. You know, I know some of you are probably going, what? Mega Malamar is great and looks cool, and Malamar as a Pokemon is fantastic. I've never liked Malamar. I've only used Malamar maybe twice on a team because it's never stuck out as a Pokemon that I've really been interested, and the design hasn't really changed dramatically, which, you know, to some degree is a good thing, but it's just doing nothing for me. It's not really drawing me in. I'm not massive on it, and I'm not massive on the Pokemon as a whole. Did Malamar need a Mega? I don't even think it really needed a Mega. There's plenty of Pokemon that I think deserve and need a Mega, and I'm not sure Malamar was one of them for me. So, unfortunately, yeah, Malamar for me is one of the bad ones. Mega Frostlass. Now, I like Frostlass as a Pokemon. Frostlass is a really eerie, great Ice Ghost type Pokemon. It's the go-to for me in the Snorunt line. Don't get me wrong, Glalie great, and Glalie got a Mega. So, you know, we were kind of thinking, is Frostlass going to get a Mega? And by the looks of it, it is. Bit of a weird design. It seems to get, like, really tall and, you know, the big dress and everything. It's an interesting way to go about it. Am I teetering between good and meh? I think I am going to go slightly more into good because I really like Frostlass as a Pokemon, and I don't think it's a terrible design, and I think it does deserve it because Glalie got it. So you almost like the Gardevoir Gallade thing. So I think, yeah, it is a pretty good overall design. Mega Dragonite. This was the first new Mega that was introduced to us. Now, I'm of the thing of I quite like it. I'm putting it in good. I know some people aren't overly keen, like they think that the tail's a bit weird. They think the big the wing-like ears put people off, and obviously they didn't really change the body shape too much. Did Dragonite need a Mega? Well, it's another one of those pseudo-legendaries, and obviously pseudo-legendaries are powerful enough on their own, but obviously you've got pseudos like Garchomp and Metagross, you know, they all got Megas. So, you know, the Kanto one, the one that sort of started it all, it's kind of interesting that it took this long to get a Mega. So I think, yeah, is it fully needed? Maybe not. Is the design great? No. Is it good? I personally quite like it. I thought it was quite charming. I know some people don't. And I would definitely agree with you if you would put it in, say, meh as well. You know, I think that is fine too. But yeah, I quite like Mega Dragonite for what it's worth. Then we got the free Kalos starters. It was obvious. It was obvious, plain and as day, these three were going to get Megas. You know, I was quite surprised that they didn't get Megas in the game they were introduced. They gave it just for the Kalos starters. So the fact that it's taken this long is a bit of an insult in itself, but we finally got them. And if I'm being honest, I don't hate any of them. And they're definitely all warranted because they should have got Megas. I will say it's interesting. Obviously, we had that debate and it's been floating around, you know, now that we got Mega Greninja, what happens to Ash Greninja? A lot of people saying like, oh, couldn't we just keep Ash Greninja? Did we need a Mega Greninja? You know, yeah, I think it's fine for him to have a Mega. Mega Chestnut, I think is pretty good. I quite like Mega Chestnut. You know, he gets a little bit more bulky. He's a bit, you know, it does suit his sort of style, you know, this sort of protector, you know, his hard shell. I quite like him, the grass fighting type. Yeah, and Chespin was the first Pokemon I used when playing through X and Y. Yeah, I know, I was a Chespin supporter, even though my favourite starter in Kalos, anyone who knows me knows Fennekin is my favourite of the trio. But yeah, I did choose Chespin first. I thought I'd be a bit different. You know, but the one I've used the most is Fennekin. Surprisingly more so than Froakie, but yeah, I quite like Mega Chestnut. Mega Delphox for me, which surprisingly, if like I said, anyone who knows me knows that I adore Fennekin, I love Braixen, and I love Delphox. But I was a little bit disappointed with the Mega for Delphox. It's not too bad. It's definitely warranted and needed. And I can see how they got to that stage. I just don't really know what I was expecting. I don't know, to be honest. It was a little bit underwhelming for me, if I'm being honest. But I think it's fine. Don't get me wrong. Just because it's in Meh doesn't mean it's bad. It's okay, you know, and it's fine. Then we got Mega Greninja. I quite like what they did with Greninja and sort of makes sense for Greninja. You know, sometimes a subtle change is a decent one. But, you know, at the same time, he just gets a massive, like, shuriken, you know, and his colour palette changes slightly. There's not an awful lot to it. But I think, for what it's worth, I think it is a fairly decent design. And Greninja's a fantastic Pokemon. Now, these three are new starters for the game, which I really don't understand, still to this day, why we've got 2 Johto starters in this lineup. It doesn't make sense. They should have gone based on the trio from Legends Arceus. Don't know why we've got 2 Johtos. Just pick either Totodile or Chikorita and then change the other one to another one of the... Oh, it slipped my mind. I can't remember. Poplio, Litten, and Rowlet. Should have chosen one of them, if I'm being perfectly honest. Maybe kept Chikorita and done Poplio. Something like that. The Alola starters. That's what I'm trying to say. The Alola starters. Mega Emboar, though, I don't actually mind Mega Emboar's design. I actually think Mega Emboar is pretty cool looking, to be honest, and I like the big fire stick that he's got going on. I think it's quite good, and he's got a slightly slimmer frame. I think it's pretty cool and matches, the firefighting type line again, so I'm not too bothered about that one. This one's going to annoy some people. I really don't like Mega Meganium. That's a bit of a mouthful. Mega Meganium. Look, nothing fully against Chikorita's line, but however, I'm not a huge fan of the whole Chikorita line. Chikorita gets a bit shafted in Johto, being like one of the weakest starters, one of the poorest options to choose, considering the first two gyms absolutely destroy Chikorita, that being the flying and the bug gyms. But also, and I know I'm contradicting myself a little bit, I said I like subtle changes, but I think this is a subtle change that's also a bit of an obnoxious and silly change. Just the big flower thing that goes around Meganium's neck just gets bigger and almost inverts on itself, almost like suffocating it. It just looks weird and bizarre. I will say that obviously, in terms of warranting getting a Mega, I think, yeah, but considering the game that it's coming out in, yeah, all the starters should get Megas. So, not saying Meganium shouldn't have got a Mega, but I'm just saying what we got was a bit underwhelming and a bit silly, if I'm perfectly honest. Mega Feraligatr, my guy. I'm sorry, but what is this? This is also going in bad, if I'm perfectly honest. I've seen some comments floating around. I'm fairly certain these are the official ones now, but I mean, obviously, correct me in the comments. But I've seen this floating around and people commenting saying that he looks like he's, especially when it's open, he looks like he's a toilet seat. Yeah, he does. It looks horrendous and ridiculous, and Feraligatr is such a cool Pokemon. Totodile is my favourite Johto starter, so I'm really disappointed because obviously I was thinking of potentially choosing Totodile as my starter, but now I'm slightly leaning towards choosing Tepig because I really like the look out of the 3 Megas of Mega Emboar, so I'm leaning towards Tepig now just because of seeing this Mega, but my god, Feraligatr, what did they do to you, my guy? I'm sorry, but I can't. Mega Drampa. This one came out a bit of left field for me. I didn't know that they were going to give Drampa a Mega. If I'm being honest, it is a little bit meh, and sort of that is slightly a little bit biased in terms of that's sort of how I feel about Drampa as a Pokemon in general. Normal Dragon is an interesting type for Drampa, and, there's not an awful... Well, there is a bit of a change, but I just think it's a bit of a peculiar one and a bit of a peculiar Pokemon to give a Mega to. I'm hoping that these Megas that they've introduced are fully explained as to why they chose these in particular in the game. But as of right now, that's sort of how I feel about Drampa. So kind of meh, neither here nor there. Mega Scrafty. I don't know what it is, but I quite like Mega Scrafty. I don't know what it is, but it's just something about it looks cool. I think like the white cloak and everything really suits it. I'm hoping that this is the final one, if I'm being honest. But I'm going to put Mega Scrafty up in here. And I also adore Scrafty as a Pokemon. I've used shiny Scrafties. I've used normal Scrafties a gazillion times in Pokemon. And obviously, I'm half tempted to use a Scraggy in the game. Obviously, I will try and see based on my starter because I don't like to have overlapping types, and I know Scrafty and Emboar are both fighting types, so I'll have to wait and see about that. But I really like Mega Scrafty. I'm really hoping that this is the final design for Mega Scrafty because it looks really good, and like I said, I love Scrafty as a Pokemon. Mega Scolipede, or Scolipede, I think. As a Pokemon, I adore Scolipede. This one always gets me. I adore Scolipede as a Pokemon. Think it's really, really good. The Mega, though, for me, is a bit meh. It seems like they're trying to do a bit too much. The big horns with the green tips at the end. It just all looks... It looks almost like a completely different Pokemon. Like it's not even Scolipede anymore. I understand I probably said that name about 5 or 6 different ways. I apologise. But yeah, I'm sort of... I'm glad it got a Mega, and it's cool, and I think it needs more love, because it is a great Pokemon, but just the Mega for me seems a bit all over the place. Mega Excadrill. Excadrill is one that was a bit out of left field for me as well. Fantastic Pokemon. I think Mega Excadrill is a good one, if I'm being perfectly honest. I think it's a good design Mega for a good Pokemon that is well deserving of having a Mega. You know, they don't do an awful lot to it, which again, you know, I both like and don't like at the same time. But I think, yeah, it's fairly good. You know, the big drills on its hands and on the top of its head getting bigger. I think it's really cool, and leaving the body more or less the same. Yeah, it's quite nice. And that's sort of the way to go, really, when you go from Drillbur to Excadrill to Mega Excadrill. Just making the big drill things and all bigger and more threatening looking is kind of the calling card for it. Mega Pyro. Mega Pyro. I'm sorry. Definitely warranted into the type of game because of how Pyro is in terms of everything to do with Kalos. But if I'm going based on this, it's a bad Mega. If I'm going based on this, it's a bad Mega. All that happens is the mane just seems to get bigger. And I'm not really sure why. And also, is this going to be the case for female Pyros as well? Because there's two different designs for Pyro. Is the Mega, whether you have a female or a male, are they going to separate it so only one form can change into a Mega? Or are they going to make that the Mega for both? A bit like what they did with Mega Latios and Latias, which everyone complains about because, and me, the same, that they made them the exact same colour and the same design, like you could almost not distinguish the two. And if that's the case here, that's another bad Mega. Deserves a Mega, and Pyro's not a terrible Pokemon, but as a Mega itself, based on that design that I've seen and been given, it's a bad Mega. I'm sorry, it's a bad Mega. For me, anyway. Obviously, if you like Mega Pyro, then I'm glad that you do, but I just can't connect with it. Mega Chandelure. I adore Chandelure. Probably up there in my top 3 favourite Fire-type Pokemon of all time. And even probably in my top 5 Ghost-type Pokemon. Fantastic type combination. Fantastic Pokemon. I'm going to put Mega Chandelure up in Great. Yeah, I know, it's not Unova bias. I mean, I do adore the Unova region, but it's not Unova bias, I swear. But yeah, I quite like it. I quite like it. And yeah, it's you know, it's a furniture-based Pokemon, an ornament-based Pokemon. You know, goes from a candlestick to a lamp to a chandelier. Where are you going to go from there? It just gets bigger into a bigger, more fancier chandelier. It's just perfect. It is perfect. I hope they don't nerf it too much because it has got one of the highest special attack stats of all time. And I'm hoping that's going to even skyrocket even more. Love Mega Chandelier. That's more of a personal one for me. Mega Barbaracle. Yeah, I know some people really like it, and don't get me wrong, yeah, Mega Barbaracle does look pretty cool. But it just looks a bit messy to me, personally. I'm going to put it in meh, and that's just, yeah, because I'm unsure how to feel about Mega Barbaracle, if I'm perfectly honest. Yeah, my opinions on it are sort of neither here nor there. I haven't used Barbaracle a lot. It might tempt me to use it when I do multiple playthroughs, but as of right now, I'm very unsure about what I think about Mega Barbaracle. But it's okay. Mega Phalanx is an interesting one. One that I also didn't expect to get a Mega, but then I suppose, you know, Kalos, you know, the defending region, you know, a Pokemon that's based on like grouping together, fighting as one. I suppose it kind of made sense. They gave it almost like a sword and like a shield, and all the guys little separated, and it almost looks like little legs. It's all right. Again, it's okay. It's okay. I think it's an okay starter. Not starter. An okay Mega. Yeah, keep in mind this is okay. Mega Zygarde. I mean, yeah, Zygarde was going to get a Mega. Let's be real. Zygarde was, because this is basically Pokemon Z. You know, which we wanted a third version back in the day. We were thinking, we got X, we got Y, we're going to have Z, because you got like Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald, Diamond, Pearl, Platinum. You know, we've got all these different variants. You always get a third variant, you know, Gold, Silver, Crystal, that sort of thing. You know, so we've got to have Z, because we got X and Y, but we never did. So this is the equivalent. So Zygarde's got to get some love, you know, and he did in terms of getting a Mega. In terms of whether I think the Mega's good or not, yeah, I kind of like it. But again, any ones that I'm a bit unsure about, I'm going to put in meh. And that's sort of how I feel. I'm a bit unsure. Deserves a Mega, yes. Do I think the Mega looks great? I'm unsure. It's not terrible, but I'm a bit in the middle. Mega Starmie. Now, I've seen videos on this. I've seen people take the absolute mickey out of this. This is the one out of all this list that I'm really unsure whether this one is true or not. But the images I've seen, and every time I type it in, this is the one that crops up. It is just a giant Starmie where the bottom half has got like really long legs. And I've seen the videos where they're like in a battle arena and it's running around. It is the funniest thing I have ever seen in my life. I mean, I almost want to put it up here just for entertainment value, put it in like great and good. But let's be real, it is a bad designed Mega. It's terrible. They didn't even change it. They didn't even try. I mean, in terms of how funny it is, it's great and good. But in terms of, the practicality and how it actually looks, it's bad. I'm sorry. But it is hilarious. Mega Clefable, I think this is quite good. The creativity here for Mega Clefable is really, really interesting. I'm loving the wings as well, because obviously it changed to being a fairy type from a normal type. Now it actually feels like a fairy with those wings in particular. And I quite like that design. And I like the colour scheme as well, with the pink go into like the yellowy green. I think it does look really, really cool. So I think, yeah, Mega Clefable, definitely warranted and really, really good. And does look interesting and now fits the theme of it being, a fairy. So now we have got the two Mega Raichus. So we got Mega Raichu X and Mega Raichu Y. I have different opinions on both. This one for me, and this might be controversial, whatever, I actually really like this design of Raichu. If I'm going to pick a Mega, this Raichu is the one I'm going to pick. I think this one's the Mega X. I'm going to pick Mega Raichu X. I think it is really, really good. I think it's really, really cool. I like that it's got almost the Pikachu colours, so it almost makes it feel like it's a Mega Pikachu. But yeah, I really, really like it. It's weird that Raichu's getting a lot of love now as well. Because obviously you've got two different Megas for Raichu. You've got the Alolan Raichu, obviously normal Raichu. It is getting a lot of love, and I'm quite glad for that. So I quite like this one. And then this one I think is good. It's not as good as the X variant, but I think the Y variant is pretty decent overall. Yeah, it's not as good. I think the lightning bolts making it look like the shape of a Y is interesting. But yeah, and this one looks a little bit more like Raichu as opposed to Pikachu, because they're using more of the Raichu-based colours, whereas the other one definitely has Pikachu elements, especially with the red pouchy cheeks. Then we got Mega Electros. Electros as a Pokemon's fantastic, don't get me wrong. They don't really change an awful lot. Like the midsection of it stays the same, and then they basically get two of its middle form, which I think is electric. I think I might be saying that completely wrong. I can't remember now, but the middle form, almost like they got two of the middle form and put it as like its arms, almost like they're trying to recreate the Dreepy lines sort of thing that went on, with Dragapult and all. They're sort of trying to repeat that where it like shoots little Dreepies out the top of it. I get that vibe with Electros and Mega Electros. For me, I think it is a fairly good one, and I think it's definitely warranted. And I'm interested in what sort of ability it's going to have, because obviously Electros normally has the Levitate ability, I believe, which is OP for an electric type. Well, I could be mistaken, does it? I'm probably mistaken there. It's been a while since I've used Electros, to be perfectly honest, but I quite like its design. I think it is pretty good. And then last but not least, this was the hardest one to actually find images of, so this one, again, take with a pinch of salt. Mega Skarmory, and I believe this is, from all I could find, the shiny variant, which I think the original variant is supposed to be like this gold colour, which... Mega Skarmory, Skarmory as a Pokemon is quite a popular one. I think it definitely deserves a Mega. I don't mind Skarmory as a Pokemon. I think he's underused. If I'm being honest in terms of how I feel, I feel neither here nor there about this particular Mega. I think it's meh. I think it's okay. But yeah, so that is, at the moment, this list could change dramatically once I officially play the game, because I do actually have the game arriving, and in fact I've ordered the big Champions Edition bundle of the game, which comes with lots of different extras as well. Comes with like figurines and all sorts. I've got the physical copy coming for the Nintendo Switch 2, so I'm looking forward to playing that when that arrives. I might even do an unboxing potentially when that arrives. I'm unsure of that yet, so stay tuned if I do. But that is going to be my ranking of all the 26 new Mega Evolutions. I hope you did enjoy this video. If you did, please like it by giving it a thumbs up and comment down below your thoughts on the brand new Megas for the game. And subscribe if you are new. But for now, this is the Nerdy Grail signing off. I hope you've had an amazing day, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye for now, everyone.